Very good evening to everyone and a warm welcome to the session. My name is Abhishek. So in this particular lecture today we will be dealing with ANOVA, that is analysis of variance. So without wasting much time, let's roll on to the video. So first of all, let's see what is ANOVA. An ANOVA test is a way to find out if survey or experiment results are significant. In other words, they help you to figure out if you need to reject the null hypothesis or accept the alternative hypothesis. Basically, you are testing groups to see if there is a difference between them. Now let's talk about how many types of tests, that is ANOVA. There are two types of tests. In this particular lecture, we will be discussing only about the one-way ANOVA. So let us see what is one-way ANOVA. One-way analysis of variance tells you if there are any statistical differences between the means of three or more independent groups. So let us see when to use a one-way ANOVA. Use a one-way ANOVA when you have collected data about one categorical independent variable and one quantitative dependent variable. The independent variable should have at least three levels, that is, three different groups or categories. For example, your independent variable is social media use, and you assign groups to low, medium, and high levels of social media use to find out if there is a difference in hours of sleep per night. Note, if you only want to compare two groups, use a t-test instead. So let us see examples of when to use a one-way ANOVA. Situation 1. You have a group of individuals randomly split into smaller groups and completing different tasks. For example, you might be studying the effects of tea on weight loss and form three groups, that is green tea, black tea, and no tea. Another situation is that similar to the situation 1, but in this case the individuals are split into groups based on an attribute they possess. For example, you might be studying leg strength of people according to weight. You could split participants into weight categories, that is obese, overweight, and normal, and measure their leg strength on a weight machine. So let us consider another specific example of one-way ANOVA. Suppose we want to know whether or not three different exam prep platforms lead to different mean scores on a certain exam. To test this, we recruit 30 students to participate in a study and split them into three groups. The students in each group are randomly assigned to use one of the three exam prep programs for the next 3 weeks to prepare for an exam. At the end of 3 weeks, all of the students take the same exam. The exam scores for each group are shown below: Group 1, Group 2, as well as Group 3. From the output table, we see that the F test statistic is 2.358 and the corresponding p-value is 0.11385. So this table we will be calculating in the SPSS also. Since the p-value is not less than 0.05, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. This means we don't have sufficient evidence to say that there is a statistically significant difference between the mean exam scores of the three groups. What are the limitations of the one-way ANOVA? A one-way ANOVA will tell you at least two groups were different from each other, but it won't tell you which groups were different. If your test returns a significant F statistic, you may need to run an ad hoc test like the least significant difference test to tell you exactly which groups had a difference in means. So let us now go to how to calculate ANOVA with SPSS. So let us consider this data for calculating with the SPSS. So let us take the SPSS. So this will be the initial dialog box which will be opened during the while opening the SPSS. So in this, first you have to go to the variable view, then you have to go to the name. The first column you have to put their variable or whatever name you have to assign. The second column you have to name it as groups. So after assigning this, you have to go to the values, and after that you have to add the values. That is, 1 stands for group A, the second stands for the second stands for group B. The third stands for group C, and the fourth one stands for group. So actually we don't have a group 4, so we will consider only 3 groups. So after this we have to go to the data view. So meanwhile I have actually entered all the datas which were taken in this from this question. So taking you to the SPSS. So if you have to check whether the groups assigned are correct or not, you can click on this one and check whether the defined group has been right or wrong. So after this we have to go to the analyze, then compare means, then we have to go for one-way ANOVA, then we have to take the variable to the dependent list and take the group to the factor. So in the previous slide I have said about some LSDs and all. So the LSDs, cafe and all you can find over here. So for now ignoring that. So after this you have to go to the go and click on the OK button, and finally the result pops out. This is the same result that we have seen in this particular example. So this was all about my video. I hope my video is very helpful to you. So if there is any questions, please do comment, and we'll meet you in the next session. Thank you.